When I appeal to God to speak to me, I'm feeling just as small and alone as you might be. But this is when, for no particular reason at all, I begin to shine.
Okay, so we're going to try this doing a video in the car again thing. And I'm going to do my 2014 year in review. Now, I do want to let people who have not seen one of these videos before know, these are just simply reminders. And these are things that I've been reminded of this year. Man, my car is dirty. Yikes. Anyway, these are just reminders that I'm giving to you guys based on things that have happened to me this year. And so, let's get started, shall we? In 2015, I'm gonna need you guys to stop being friends with unstable people. Now, I say that, and I say that with all due respect. The reason why that's a part of my review is because I made the mistake of trying to befriend someone who is definitely unstable, but I wanted to befriend the person because we had been friends like 21 years ago. Well, as I progressed in this pseudo friendship, I sort of realized that the person was really too unstable to be a friend of mine. And by the time I had realized that, which was predominantly fast, but by the time that I had actually realized that the person was too unstable, I had already had the lasting effects of their instability. It is very difficult to change people, and as adults we know that, yet we want to change what we see as potential in someone. And I'm here to let you know, please stop in 2015, because the person that I befriended, I wish I could take that whole couple of months back. It was really a friendship based on me feeling sorry for the person, and that's never really a reason to be friends with somebody. That was my reason to rekindle this friendship. And you'll find that if you befriend unstable people, either you're going to become unstable too, or you're going to be so turned off by their instability that you regret being their friend. So in 2015, no unstable friendships, please. Number 2, please stop apologizing for being accountable. There are people in my life who don't like the fact that I'm accountable. And when I say that I'm accountable, what that means is I don't accept excuses from myself for things that I know I should or should not be doing. I am very accountable for my actions, and when I know I'm wrong, or when I find out that I'm wrong, I do whatever I can within my power to change my actions. I have found that in this period of changing my actions to just be a better person overall, that I've apologized way too much to people for making a decision to be accountable and also to hold others around me accountable. It has been a year of me being an apologist, something that I'm not and don't like to be unless I really have a reason to apologize. But the one thing that I did learn in 2014 is that it's totally okay to be accountable, and if people want to be in your life, you should be holding them accountable also, and you shouldn't have to apologize for it. There is no reason why I should apologize to people for expecting them to be on time, or expecting them to do something when we had an agreement, or to communicate effectively with me. I shouldn't have to apologize for that, and vice versa. I've had to be accountable because I'm realizing that in certain situations to certain people, I'm a verbal abuser, and I don't want to be a verbal abuser. I am not trying to be a verbal abuser, But I am very verbally abusive to a few people in my life. And so I'm holding myself accountable to that. And I'm actively working towards not being an abusive person verbally. But I'm also holding myself accountable by having an accountability partner. Somebody who I'm not afraid to vent to. And that's coming up next. Somebody that I'm not afraid to vent to. And somebody who I know won't look at me different when I admit my truth that I have been verbally abusive to people close to me. So stop apologizing for being accountable. And let's move on to the next one, which I think is super important. Please, in 2015, be careful who you vent to. You know, we, especially in today's age of like social networking and social media, we befriend people rather fast. I think more fast than I would even like to say that I'm comfortable with. We call people our friends. We get to know them. We may not even see them up close and personal. This may be someone who we've befriended on a social network, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And we get so comfortable with that person that we begin to tell them all of our deep, dark secrets. And a couple of things happen when you do things like that, okay? One, when you make somebody else uncomfortable, they start to resent you for venting to them, okay? Number two, when people get uncomfortable because they can't help you resolve your problems, but your problems are so large that they wish that they could help you, they also become resentful. Three, the person isn't really your friend and you're telling them all of your business, all of your pertinent personal business, for them to then either one, use against you, or two, tell other people who you never vented to. So I want you to be really careful who you vent to. You know, there have been people who I've almost vented to and then had to remind myself, we're not friends. That's happened a couple of times. And I have to tell you that there are some people that I know, and I wish that I could go to them and say, please stop telling your personal business to so-and-so, because so-and-so means you know well. But I just keep quiet, because at the end of the day, even though their business has been vented to me, it was none of my business. And it actually changed the way that I saw the other person, who I was friends with, but am no longer friends with, because she had the audacity to vent about somebody that is her best friend, but she's still friends with that person. And the issues have not been resolved. I don't want to be in the middle of that. So in 2015, I want us to really be careful about who we vent to. It's so important. I mean, I can't even begin to voice how important it is. When you vent to the wrong person, you're basically telling the whole world on a big old microphone, here I am, and here are my problems, and how about you find out about them? Over that, you know? And I'm over everybody being so trustworthy of the next man that they don't know, that they even if you have history with the person. And I saw a meme that said this. It was something along the lines of, you know, friendship shouldn't be based on the amount of time that you've known someone. I totally agree and believe that that is not the reason to be somebody's friend and to trust them. There are people that I have known for years and years and years, and I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. And then there are people that I've known for maybe a year or two or 4 years or less, and I'm willing to put my whole life on, you know, what they say to me, how they treat me, and I'm willing to bet my life that if I was ever down and out, they would be there for me. This I know for sure, okay? And when I say this is what I know for sure, this is what I know for sure. Please stop calling people your friends. This is just a side note to the be careful who you vent to. Please stop calling people your friends when you know darn well that you guys are not really friends. You may know that person for a really long time, but if your whole friendship or the time that you guys have known each other is riddled with rifts or arguments, disagreements, or you feel the need to consistently talk about that person behind their back, you guys aren't really friends. And so I wouldn't vent to that person, because if you have to talk about them behind their back, chances are they're probably talking about you too. Now that's just the truth. Digest it. Do with it what you may, but that's the truth. And you know, I'm willing to bet my life on it. So please be careful who you vent to. Another thing that I really want my entrepreneur friends especially to focus on in 2015, I really want you to focus on profit over popularity. Now, if the whole Instagram deleting all of the spam accounts didn't teach you non-celebrities anything, it should have taught you that, you know, your popularity can't really be based on how many followers or friends you have. You know, if nobody is buying your product, if nobody is soliciting your services, it doesn't matter how many followers you have. And I personally, yes, personally, know 2 people who bought followers. And I mean, at the time, I understand it was for the perception, right? Because in marketing classes, if you're an entrepreneur and you run in certain circles online, you'll meet different coaches who will tell you things like this. They'll say, perception is everything. Yeah, perception is everything, but if nobody's buying what you're selling, it seems more like deception than perception. You know, like, you want me to take a chance on you or your product simply because you have 60,000 followers? I'd rather take the person who has 3,000 followers and has legitimate testimonials of people that are common day than to take the person who has 100,000 followers and they're just regurgitating what other people say, except that they have more followers, so they have more retweets, or they have more likes, or they have more shares. Like, profit over popularity, you know. And that's always been my motto. I could care less how many people follow me on a social media platform. Are you buying my shit? No, because if you're not concerned with a book that I write, or a seminar that I give, a coaching session that I have, candles that I make, what do I care if you follow me or not? And that's not to be rude or disrespectful, but just as an entrepreneur, why am I putting weight, right, on this fictitious number, right, of popularity? She don't do that, and I'm not gonna do that. And for those of you that do that, I wish you'd stop in 2015, por favor. In 2015, I need you to be around people who match your effort, okay? I need you to be around people who match your effort. That is in a relationship, a partnership, a friendship, any sort of relationship. Whether it's match your communication effort, your ability to see them, match that effort. Like, these one-sided friendships and relationships and partnerships, they're so overwhelmingly draining. Yet, when people come to me and they want to be coached on how to get out of a toxic friendship, relationship, or partnership. And I'm saying, when you went into that partnership, relationship, or friendship, were you guys equally yoked already? Were you guys matching each other, you know, in your communication? Were you guys both seeing each other versus one person seeing somebody else all the time? Like, I know I live far from all of my friends. The ones that live in California, I really barely even see or talk to. But coincidentally, my friends that live in other states, I talk to and communicate with them more. I don't know why that is, but I communicate with them more. And their effort matches my effort. The people that live in California, I have one good girlfriend. And yes, I still consider her to be my girlfriend. But She don't return none of my calls. She don't return none of my texts. When she does return a text of mine, she'll say, I know I'm a bad friend. But she hasn't done anything to try to change that. Now, it doesn't change the way that I feel about her. Sincerely, it doesn't. But I know that our efforts aren't matched. And so I don't go way out of my way to check on her now. I mean, if I see her, it's all love. But if our efforts aren't coinciding, if they don't match, I'm not real big on, like, maintaining that friendship, period. Like, I'm 36 and I'm not big on that. So in 2015, can we please, people, please be around other people who match the effort that you have, okay? I sure do want a taco. Man. But I've gained like 10 pounds in the last 3 months, so the good Lord knows I don't need a taco. Like, I need some detox tea. But anyway. So I only have one more thing for for my 2014 wrap up, and this is what it is, and this is really, really important. And I don't know if you guys have noticed that everything has sort of the same running theme. So the last thing that I want to say in this year in review is that I don't hold grudges. I do not hold grudges. But if you've done something to wrong me, don't be surprised if you never hear or see from me again. Like, just don't be surprised. I have a very low... tolerance for BS. I have a very low tolerance for a lot of things. And I know the reason why I have a low tolerance, but the fact remains that I have a very low tolerance for stuff like that. So with that being said, now mind you, the dude was just going to come anyway. So I just went ahead and said, come on, so that he would understand and acknowledge that I would have let him in had he looked at me anyway. These LA drivers, I tell you, I mean, just full of disrespect and disregard. Now I feel bad that I said that because he just said thank you. But I promise you, he was just about to pull out, didn't even acknowledge me until I put my hand up. So anyway, I have a very low tolerance for bullshit, like, for real. And so if you do something to wrong me, we may not ever have a conversation about it. I may not ever come to you and say, oh, I feel bad that you wronged me, or, I don't like the way that you this or that. Like, I may never do that. But can I tell you what else I won't do? I won't talk to you again. And I wish more people would stop trying to find closure in a venting session. And I wish in 2015 that people would just let shit go. Let people go who don't mean you any well. Let people go. They don't owe you an explanation for their decision to be a bad friend, a bad partner, a bad boyfriend or girlfriend. And I wish that we'd stop owing people that same explanation. Just say goodbye already. And you don't even have to say it to them. There are people that I say goodbye to on a consistent basis, and they've never heard a word out of my mouth. Some people, if I meet you on a social network and then we connect, and then for some reason we disconnect, I just reduce you back to that social network. But if you've done something really bad to me, I reduce you to nothing at all. Okay, because I'm not going to sit and have fake friendships. I know people right now that do that. It's not healthy. And it's not something that I choose to do in my everyday life. I don't do fake friendships. I don't do fake relationships. That's not me. I don't do that type of stuff. But I know that it's popular, because we talk about people who are supposed to be our friends. Again, my year in review is just a running theme of stuff. If you don't like somebody, okay, leave them alone. You don't have to have a conversation with somebody else about the fact that you don't like them. And chances are, you're doing it out of just pure spite or dislike, which is not good. It takes two people to have a bad friendship or relationship or partnership, not just one. It takes two. And not only does it take two people, but it takes two people to remain in that situation. So for however long you stayed, hey, you stayed. But one thing that I need you to understand, if you've done something to me wrong, okay, I am not going to hold a grudge. But I'm also not going to go out of my way to speak to you ever again. You know, and that's healthy. Back, y'all. Oh my gosh. I really wish that people in California were less rude. You know, people here are very, very rude, and it's one of those, you know, I want it now, and you know, if I don't get it immediately, it's going to be a problem. I'm basically letting everybody in because I don't want to be the asshole of the group. Anyway, okay, so to wrap up, I feel like I need some spray or something. Okay, so to wrap up for the year-end review, stop apologizing for being accountable. Stop trying to be friends with unstable people. Only be around people who, you know, match your efforts. Please choose profit over popularity. Be very careful who you vent to. And, you know, I would tell you to work on holding grudges, because I know that's something I need to work on. But stop speaking to people or dealing with people that you don't like. I mean, there's no need to be nice nasty. There's no need to send subliminal messages hoping that they'll get them. End the friendship already. You know, there's nothing more childish than someone who is an adult but still chooses to act like a little kid. Can we stop with that already? And I'm so serious. Like, I have cut people off in my life just because they bash other people in their lives. And it may not even be someone who did something to me. But just the fact that you can bash someone when you have the opportunity, right, to just let them go from your life, ain't nobody got time for that, for real. So, it's Dawn, Self-Esteem Queen. I know I've kind of been all over the place. I don't know if I can really do a vlog while driving on something that I have to remember, like that I've taken notes on. Maybe if I just do a simple vlog. People drive crazy in LA, by the way. Maybe if I just do a simple vlog of like my thoughts, it might be a little easier. But having to remember, you know, my points and stuff, I don't like that too much. So I think I'm going to start doing my vlogs on just things that are on my mind, like maybe the SEQ point of view and stuff like that. I'll do those from my car since I spend so much time in my car. But I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day. It's a farmer's market. I really want to stop and get some kettle corn. Notice I didn't say apples, pears, oranges, and peaches. So I just really want some kettle corn. I have a real problem with sugar. Like, I'm addicted, and I'm working on it. I am working.
When I appeal to God to speak to me, I'm feeling just as small and alone as you might be. But this is when, for no particular reason at all, I begin to shine.